Quite a game there, Jerry. Lots to discuss, but overall a tremendous win for the club.
Yeah, a really good win and a good week actually. You have to remember that. To go to Concord on last Saturday in those conditions, get 3 points, clean sheet. To go to Maidstone on Tuesday night, the lads half day at work, getting in at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and to go again. I think in the second half actually physically we were drained. We were out on our feet a little bit, so we had to make a couple of changes because they just couldn't give any more than they gave, and that. I have to say that Dulwich, Gav's team have given us a really good game there, put us under all sorts of pressure, not only second half but also first half, and we've had to deal with it. The wind blowing down the slope, I think it sort of died a little bit second half, and interestingly enough we were better going up the slope than we were down the slope. But you have to give credit to the opposition again, to be able to react and come back twice in a game, and Millsy always seems to score against us and causes us issues, but in all his team, Gav's got to look at that and go, do you know what? They gave me everything that they possibly could, like me. So it's a team win there for everyone because the effort from each individual and as a collective was outstanding. And as I said, 9 points in a week, you just can't. 2 away games and 1 home game, you can't beat that.
You said about Danny Mills, always seems to score against Bath City, or Tom Smith now has 5 in 3 against Dulwich. Well, performance from him today.
I think it's 17, isn't it? Is it 17 now for the season? So for any midfielder, fantastic, and it needed that. It had to take a bit of magic, but when Tom gets in those positions for the winner I'm talking about, once he hits it, it's hit and it's a goal. It's difficult for Charlie and goal to get anywhere near it. So listen, as an individual, it's a fantastic performance. It's a really good one, and he's going to have to. Cheers, mate. He's going to have to. He's going to have to go away now and say to himself, look, listen, it's 3 goals, but he's got to keep working hard, and it's important that he does that. He's a great lad. He takes his job ever so seriously, and I mean he's a footballer, so he's a part-time footballer, but he goes away and does his sports science stuff during the week. He's very dedicated to it, and he's at a place where he's really, really happy. So credit goes to Tom, but as I said, every single individual, as a collective, as a club today, that's a fantastic win.
Really positive reaction from both goals. I think in each of them you replied within 1 or 2 minutes of the first one, and then 5 or so in the second. It's tremendous character yet again.
That's been a trait of us this season because we've, up until that Wealdstone game, I think we kept conceding and coming back, and that's a really good trait to have. Of course, you don't want to concede first, but like you say, once they score and they get themselves back in the game and a foothold in it, it's important that we try and get the momentum in the game as well, and we did it on a couple of occasions. Like I said, I think physically we dropped away from it second half and find it a little bit more difficult with their runners forward, with their physique, with their power, with their pace. But we're finding a way to win a game again, and that's massive. It's not so much about performances now. I've talked about that a lot this season, trying to constantly focus on our performance levels, but it's all about putting points on the board, and we've put another 3 on, which is massive. There's been some real indifferent results again, and I'm sure there's going to be. We're in our last quarter, last 10 games coming up. We've got Slough, Havant, and Weymouth to play here, which are going to be massive games. So it's focusing on the next one. It always has to be. It's focusing on what the week will be. I've pulled them in the middle and said, look, we're going to have a hard week. We've got a few bumps and bruises. We're going to have a hard week, and you have to look forward to what will be another tough game away.
Yeah, you said about bumps and bruises. I think Stephen Toby put in almost as many yards as some of your players today, but players really putting their bodies on the line and showing their commitment to the cause. Yeah,
and I said against Maidstone, didn't I, and Concord, I said if you don't come off the field and you don't feel an ache, a bump, a bruise, a knock, a cut, it's no coincidence in the last 3 games we've come up with quite a few cuts, quite a few knocks. Ryan's had a massive blow there first half, a dead leg. Alex has got a bleeding nose, Frankie's eye from Tuesday, and he's drained. He's completely drained out there, so we've had to take him off. So Bawley then sticks his head in on the edge of the 18-yard box like Bawley does, and gets a kick in the head, but gets up and gets on with it. So that's what I want in my players. You need that. What people have to remember is we're a very young group. I spoke to Gary from Hampton. He rang me about Maidstone just before kick-off, actually, when I was in the office, and he said, word on the street is you're a very, very young side and everyone knows that. And I said, were you surprised by some of those results? And he said, not really, because of that. So we have to remember and take stock that with young players there will be some dips and there will be some inconsistency. But where you look, where we're sat tonight, second in the league, if you want to look at that, with that young group of players of an average age of God knows what, it'd be one of the youngest in that top 10 for sure. That's credit to them all.
You looking to add to it before the match against Braintree last week? I know you're trying to get one signing over the line.
Yeah, I am. I've worked hard in the week. I wasn't quite able to do it just because of at the other end, with the club at the other end. We sort of agreed terms with the player, so we're just we're waiting. That will bring in some added experience to us. Like I said, if they come in, they have to improve us as a squad, and that certainly will be with a view to a longer term deal with us as well. It's not going to be a loan deal; it'll be a permanent one. So I'll work again on Monday and Tuesday, see if we can get it over the line, and if it does, it'll be a good addition, which we'll need going into the running.
Congratulations, Jerry. Henry, any more?
It is the date for the planning meeting for the Twerton Park development coming up in a couple of weeks. It's a really important one for the club, isn't it? Well,
yes, it's pivotal. All we can do, Henry, is really, and me as a football manager, is focus on our jobs. The rest will happen around us. We're all, of course, really positive around it. We want it to go through. It has to go through. And I think there's been a lot of not only local but media coverage nationally as well, which helps, of course. But what a shame if we couldn't play here, wouldn't it? If you're looking at the bigger picture, when you look at it today and you look at the fans over the far side, and you look, this is the hub. Twerton Park is the hub of the football. You don't want to be going elsewhere to play your football. Of course, if it goes through, we'll have to go somewhere temporarily, but that'll only be short term. But the crucial bit is that planning application goes through, and it all works for the community. It works for not just us as a football club, but for Twerton as a community. I'm lucky enough to have access to it throughout the week and going to some coaching and see that it's needed. There's a lot of things around mental health at the moment. I think sport and football can be a really good vehicle for that, and it's important that we do that. It's very much needed in our community, if you like. So that's our focus. But like I said, we have to look at the football first and foremost, and try and keep adding to our total and keep ourselves in a strong position in the league.
When you talk about having to go and potentially play away somewhere, is that a process that you're involved in terms of getting the right facilities for the type of football that you want to play?
Yeah, I've had discussions with the board about it, so it's nothing that we have to put out there public. They're very private conversations. The players don't know. So yeah, we've spoke about it as a group, and of course they're ongoing, those discussions. Nothing's been set in stone at all, by no means, but we've got options, I think. So yeah, let's one step at a time and let's see what happens first, and then going forward, it's all positivity. You know, I've spoke about it before. I'm a positive person. I work hard. We work hard as a group and as a football club, and when you get your blips, all you do is you work harder. So if we have to, you know, do an extra bit in training in the week, if I have to go and do an extra bit for the club or Paul or anyone around here, we've got a hell of a lot of volunteers. They'll do it. They'll do it for the right reasons. And if you've got a collective as a football club, and I keep talking about it, that's pulling in the right direction, then eventually you'll get some success from it. I believe in that. So long may that continue. We've done nothing. We're second in the league with 10 games to go. We put ourselves in a really good position. So jump on the train with us if you want to.